Thank you for joining us this afternoon. This webinar is to give everyone a demo and a look into the Illinois workNet event calendar. Before I do get started, I want to go over a couple of housekeeping items. First, you'll notice next to our presentation we have a chat pod. You can use this chat to ask any questions you have. You can go ahead and say hello to everyone and put your name in there if you want to interact with all the other people in the webinar. Below the chat pod, we have a file share pod where you can download the presentation we'll be going through today, as well as an instructional document that I will cover as well. And then if you are listening via your computer speakers, if you have any problems hearing throughout the webinar, you can go ahead and call into our conference call number and then mute your computer speakers. Our agenda for today is to give you an overview of the Illinois workNet event calendar, to go over some of the updates that we've added to the calendar, and then I'm going to go through a demo of how the calendar looks on the Illinois workNet website, as well as a couple of other websites that have added the calendar to theirs. And then we'll have a quick Q&A at the end to go over any questions that may not have been asked throughout the webinar. Let's just get right into it. Illinois workNet has many benefits to using the website in general. We have a lot of tools and resources for our partners, and the calendar has many benefits. The first is that it's easy to use. Anyone who has an Illinois workNet account can add an event to our calendar. So as partners, you can post events and reach more people in your area and in your community. Illinois workNet, since the beginning of 2014, has had 417,669 unique visitors. Unique means that this is a different IP address every time for every person. So that's identifying a different person. So over 417,000 people have come to the Illinois workNet website. Imagine your events reaching that many more people once they're added to our calendar. Along with reaching more people, you're also helping these individuals and businesses by giving them chances to participate with events to meet their employment and training goals. That is the goal of Illinois workNet, is to help people achieve their training and employment goals. So by you posting your events to our calendar, you're reaching more people and getting the word out about your events, but also helping the people in your community as well. And last is community. The Illinois workNet events calendar feeds the Job Prep app, which is a mobile app that can be downloaded to Android or iPhones. It feeds all of the calendars on all of the Illinois workNet websites. So along with our www.illinoisworknet.com website, we have a layoff recovery website. We have a manufacturing website. We have Illinois Pathways. We have Disability Works. We have the Summer Youth Employment Program website. So your events are going to every single one of those websites. And now that the calendar can be added as a widget to other people's websites, your events are going to reach those customers as well. So the event calendar, the main benefit is that you are outreaching to an even broader community than the people that are only getting your events by visiting your center or going to your local website. The types of events you can add: workshops, training events, job club events, online events. Like this webinar is an online event only. You have the ability of adding those to the event calendar. And career fairs, job fairs, workshops, sorry, I already said that. And then even more than that, that didn't fit on the page. You have the ability of adding all of these events to one calendar, and it's being distributed among a community of resources. Like I said, we've updated the calendar, and the new features include more filters, so you can make your event more specific to help people find it easily. We have a new audience filter, grade level, field of interest, and more event types, like I just said, and we'll go over all of those when we do the demo. We have a new view for the calendar. Before, we only had the calendar as a list, and now you can view a month view, a day view, and we still have that list view. There's a new updated event entry screen, and we have the embed the widget option, so you can add the calendar to your website. So I'm going to go ahead and do a demo of a couple of different websites that use the calendar. I wanted to provide these views in the PowerPoint for when you download it and have it for future reference. You can see that the calendar is flexible to fit anywhere you need it on your website. I had put the little green arrow. You can see that on this web page, the calendar is very small and fits nicely into this corner of this page. You can customize the look and feel of it using the colors to match your website, the size you need it, and excuse me, so it'll match the way that your website looks. Now, like I said, it's also in the Job Prep app, which is the mobile app, and then on the mobile view, you can see that it fits nicely if your website goes down to the mobile view. So I'm going to go ahead and bring out my share screen so I can get that started. Now, if you could just type in the chat pod or raise your hand and let me know that you can see the Illinois WorkNet homepage. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. So Illinois WorkNet, as we're all aware, provides the event calendar, and I wanted to show it to you on the homepage because, like I said, it's going to fit anywhere you need it. So as you can see on illinoisworknet.com, we have the events right here on the front page. And so your events, when you add them to the calendar, all those 417,000 people that are visiting Illinois WorkNet, and even more as the year goes on, are going to see your events front and center. So we're really trying to push partners to adding their events because that'll bring more people to your area, more people to your center, and it gets more people knowing about the services you provide. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the individuals pathway, and I'm going to go to the events calendar here because we have it in multiple areas so the user can get to it in multiple places. So you can see here we have the month view. So you're getting the entire month. You can see past events as well as future events. And then at the top, like I said, we have new filter options. So you can see audience, grade level, field of interest, and event type. And if they wanted to filter on them, they would just open it and select one of the options to filter. And you can filter by city and zip code. This has always been a functionality because we want to make sure users can get to events in their specific location. And then, like I said, we have different views. So this is the month view. And we'll go ahead and click on day. And this goes day by day and shows all of the events for that day. And then list view, what that does is it shows the month view but in a list. So you're getting multiple days and all the events in that day. And then when you click on event, it's going to open down. You're going to get the title, where it's at, when it's at, the type, the description, and you can even add the events to your personal calendars so you don't forget it. And we have the option of sharing on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So along with all the people coming to Illinois WorkNet seeing your events, they can share it to their network of people, and that's just getting your event out there to even a bigger community of people. Now when you're on the month view, and you'll see that some of these days have 3 little dots at the bottom. What that means is this day has more events than we're showing. So if you click on it, you can see all the events for that day. And when you click on an event, you get the pop-up. So you can see the views vary depending on if you're in month or list and the way it reacts. But you're getting the same information just displayed differently. Now, like I said, I wanted to show you a couple of different websites that are using the same calendar, but they've embedded it on their website, but they've changed what they're showing the public. So right now I'm on the Illinois Pathways website, and I've gone ahead and clicked on events already in the header. And you can see the event calendar here, first off, is a different color. So we've customized this to match the Illinois Pathways website. But it also has different set of events. The events being brought in here are only specific to the STEM learning exchanges here in Illinois. So you can customize what events you want showing on your calendar. And you can do the same for your LWIA. So if you're in LWIA 4 and you want to put this calendar on your website, you can choose to only select events that are in LWIA 4. Now, part of Illinois Pathways is, like I said, there's STEM learning exchanges. Now, these are exchanges that are statewide that are specific to Illinois Pathways in Illinois. Now, we've been working with them to get the calendar and other tools that we provide on their website. So I've gone ahead and clicked over to the Information Technology STEM Learning Exchange website. You can see I clicked on Event Calendar on the left, and this is the same event calendar that Illinois workNet provides, but customized to look like their website and pull in only Illinois Information Technology events in Illinois. So their events here are going to be different than on the Health Science website, which I just switched over to. So the Health Science website has an events calendar. This is the STEM Learning Exchange, just like the IT, but this is for Health Science, and you can see that their calendar looks different. They've chosen to go with month view, and that their events are only for Health Science. So the Illinois workNet calendar is flexible to fit your needs, your location, and to match your website. Now I want to go back to Illinois workNet because I wanted to quickly show everyone how you can add events and then show you that embed widget option, which is completely new to Illinois workNet. We've never had this before, so I want to touch on that in our time frame today. So like I said, anyone with an Illinois workNet account can add an event. So as you can see on our event calendar and all of the websites, there's an add event button. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and I'm going to be prompted to log in with my Illinois workNet account. Now if a user doesn't have an account, they can click don't have one, or if they've forgotten their password, they can go ahead and go through the process of retrieving their password as well. So I've gone ahead and logged in, and then the page is going to load with events that have already been posted to the Illinois workNet website. You can see you can filter here as well, and you're getting all the same events. So you're just getting a new view of them. And then to add an event, you just click the Add Event button. Very simple and easy for the user to use. And then just adding your event, you have to go through and enter the event information. So you'd put in the event title, and then you would choose an event type. Like I said, there's a pretty comprehensive list of event types. We have conferences, job or career fairs, job clubs, training events, veteran-specific events, workshops, competitions, informational events, meetings, or disability-specific events. Ava, I see your question just popped up. That is correct. The public, if an individual has an Illinois workNet account, they can add an event, but the way it works is it has to be submitted and then it has to be approved. So for the Illinois workNet calendar, it's the LWIA coordinator and content managers that are approving events throughout the state. So if we have an individual in LWIA 4 come to Illinois workNet and add an event, it's going to be submitted, and then the LWIA coordinator and content manager will get an email saying, this many events have been submitted for your LWIA. Please log into Illinois workNet, review, and approve. So even though they are the public, they're not being auto-published. So we're not getting bad events on Illinois workNet. All events that are being posted are being reviewed for accuracy and relevancy and then approved by the local areas or Illinois workNet staff, because we do look at the events on a daily basis and make sure there are none that haven't been approved or anything like that. And so, great, I'm glad I answered your question, Ava. And then I'm going to jump back to the screen share. So like I said, to add your event, you're just going to go through and enter all of the information that's required. The red asterisk means that it's required. So if it doesn't have a red asterisk, it's not required and you don't have to fill it in. So you go through and enter the event title, the event type. You can select the audience, the grade level, the field of interest, and you will see that with grade level we have a not applicable button, because sometimes you'll have an event that's open to the public, anyone of any age can come, but sometimes you might have an event where you only want people who are interested in adult education to attend, or a bridge program, or college or technical. So these are multi-select. You can select as many that make sense for you and your event. And now the field of interest, it has the Pathways in Illinois clusters. And so you have all of those, as well as some other Common Core, industry standards, work ethics, and then other is anything that wouldn't apply to those. Since this calendar is being used by Illinois WorkNet along with Illinois Pathways, we wanted to make sure we were providing fields for all of the audiences to use. Then as we scroll down, we'll see the rest of the information is that you need is the date, the time. You can provide a contact if people have any questions, whether it be a phone number, an email, and then the address and a description of your event. And like I said, we do have the option for online-only events. If you click that little button, your address fields go away and you're just required to do an event link. And you can also do repeating events. So if you have a weekly job club at your WorkNet office or your office, I know everyone on here is not from an Illinois WorkNet office, but if you had a job club or you have a weekly WIA orientation or you have a monthly veterans group, you can schedule those events to repeat daily, weekly, monthly, or even specific dates. If you have a workshop that you want to give to the public, say it's on resume writing, and you provide it maybe the second Wednesday of every month at 2:30. You can add that in here. You only have to add it once, and it's going to show on all those dates. And then once you've added all your information, you'll click Add Event, and you'll get a pop-up. Now, if it's someone who cannot approve events, they're going to get a pop-up that says your event has been submitted and will be reviewed for before posted. And if you're an LWIA coordinator or content manager, it'll automatically publish for you, and you'll get a message letting you know that. And I know this is a lot of information in a short time frame, so please, if you do have any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat pod. Because then I want to move over to embed on your website. So if anyone has any questions about adding an event, go ahead and post them in there now, and I'll keep an eye on it. But I'm going to jump onto the embed on your website page. Like I said, this is completely new to Illinois WorkNet, and we're pretty excited to be providing this to all of our partners and anyone else who wants to use it. Once you click on Embed Your Website, you're going to come to a new page. You'll see it looks different. And what you'll need when you come here is the information to customize the calendar to your website. So once you have that information and you come to this page, it should take 10 minutes or less for this to work. And the way it works is you fill in all of the information. The red asterisk is required, and then the fields with the blue arrow is just recommended. Once you fill in all that information, you're going to get a calendar generated at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a couple of fields so you can just see how it's going to work. And then one thing I do want to point out is every one of these fields has a little info bubble. And if you click on it, it's going to pop down and give you some information about that field. So if you're not sure what the field is really asking, or you need information, for example, on how big the logo can be, if you click the info bubble, it's going to pop down and give you information about that field. So the logo is like you see here where the Illinois WorkNet logo is at the top left. That's what it's referencing. What logo do you want there? So most places are going to have their local office logo. And then the homepage URL, I'm going to click that little button there, and we can see that it's used on the pages where users add events to allow them to return to your website. So I would click on the logo and get back to the website. I'm going to go ahead and type that in here. Now these first two fields, once they're entered, your calendar is going to generate at the bottom. And as you fill in the rest of the fields, it's going to change. So I scrolled all the way down, and you can see there's a tiny little calendar here and an HTML code widget. It's only because I've only added the first two fields. If I go back up and I enter a couple more fields, say I want the font on my website is Arial, so I'm going to put that in there. And then we have a couple of different color fields, and if you click on them, it'll give you a description of what that field is for. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a color here. Now the way this works is you can either use a hex code, which is used on most websites to style it, or you could just type in a color. I'm going to choose red, and it's going to recognize that. So there we go, yellow. And then I'm going to select the height and width of my calendar to be 800. Now the reason we asked or said that you should know all this information before you come is because on your website, everything is going to be different from each website. So you'll want to know how much space you have on your website to work with the calendar, the font of your website so it matches, and those colors so it all looks cohesive and it looks just like the calendar is supposed to be on your website. I chose 800 by 800, which is kind of big because I wanted you to be able to see as I scroll down, I'm getting that calendar generated. So you can see that you're getting a preview of what the calendar is going to look on your website before you copy that code in case you decide you want to make a change. You can see that I chose that orange color. If I go to day, you're going to see how it's incorporated. And if I go to list, you're going to see it doesn't look very good, but you can see the red and the yellow that I used as an example. So you can see how the things you're putting in are going into effect on the calendar, so you can change anything you need to before you copy that code. So we, of course, since Illinois WorkNet is LWIA, for all the LWIAs, we have the option of selecting the LWIA number you want your calendar to display. So if I'm in LWIA 1, I'm only going to want to show events for LWIA 1, so I'm going to put 1 in there. If you leave it blank, it will go statewide. And then the next option is to select the calendar. So like I mentioned, we have all of the STEM learning exchanges are putting this calendar on their website. And so you'll see that all of those pathways are here. But I'm going to choose Illinois WorkNet calendar because I want to pull in all the Illinois WorkNet events. If you wanted to, you could pull in Illinois WorkNet, or you could pull in, if your website was only interested in energy events or manufacturing, you could select just those pathways. And then the last 3 filters are optional to you. You have the option of having your calendar auto-filter events for the public. So if you only wanted events that were for adult education / bridge programs, you could select that, and it's only going to show events that have been added with that filter. And if I scroll down, we can see how the event or the calendar has changed because I've added that filter and I've changed it to a specific LWIA. So like I said, this is customizable to what you need. As in LWIAs, you have needs based on the office you work on. Illinois WorkNet Center might have different needs than a community-based organization office. And so we're providing this tool for you to customize for your needs and put out there to the public. So if anyone has any questions about the embedding, go ahead and put that in the chat pod. That was all I wanted to cover with the embed page. I just wanted to give everyone a starter look on how it works. So once you go ahead and enter all that information, what you'll need to do, or your technical team, it depends on how your office is managed, they will need to just copy this code that's provided based on the information you entered and paste it onto a page on your website, and it's going to show up just like these Illinois STEM Learning Exchanges did. They went to that page, put in their information, and copied the code onto here, and the calendar is there. This also means that if you're in LWIA 4 and you choose the Illinois WorkNet calendar, you're going to get all the events that you add, and you're also going to get all the other LWIA 4 events that people are posting. And it's also very convenient because you can add the events from your website now. You don't have to go to Illinois WorkNet, or you don't have to email anyone in your office asking them to post an event. You can just go to your web page, click Add Event, log in, and get it posted immediately, or submitted for approval, and it'll be posted. Most events don't sit longer than a day, so once it's submitted, the posting is very quick to happen. Because like I said, if the LWIA coordinator or content manager doesn't approve it, Illinois WorkNet staff is also reviewing and approving events. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and I'll move that over so we can go on with the PowerPoint. I do want to point out that the event in the file share pod, we have the WorkNet event calendar instructions. So what this instructions cover on the first 2 pages is posting an event, and the 3rd page covers doing that event widget to add to your website. So it's all in one instructional document that you can download from that file pod and have that on hand anytime you need it. So like I said, put any questions in the chat pod that you might have. And then I just want to say thank you to everyone. This was a short webinar. We only scheduled for half an hour because we know everyone's busy, and we wanted to be able to give you the information in a short amount of time. So we want to make sure that everyone starts adding their events today. The Illinois WorkNet calendar is out there. You can go www.illinoisworknet.com and you can post your events. And please do spread the word. Tell your customers they can look for your events on the Illinois WorkNet calendars and other WorkNet project calendar websites. Spread the word to other partners that they can post their events and that they can add the calendar to their website. And please watch for upcoming webinars over Illinois WorkNet tools. And we are going to be providing an event calendar flyer. So once we have that calendar flyer, we'll send it out to everyone because then you can use that to give to your customers or other partners. And we do encourage anyone who has any questions to email us at info@illinoisworknet.com because we'd be more than happy to provide any assistance anyone needs in posting events or embedding that calendar widget on your website. We really, really encourage our partners to do that because you're going to reach a whole new group of customers that you might not be targeting now, and it's easy to manage if you want to add it to your website. All you do is go through that embed, put in your fields, copy and paste it on your website, and then any changes that are made to it, Illinois WorkNet is going to do on our end, and it's just going to update on your website. So there's no work for you once it's put on there. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's attended today. We have recorded this webinar, and we will be posting it on Illinois WorkNet, so you can watch it at a later time or share it with anyone. And have a great afternoon. Please email if you have any questions. Thank you.